Travis Wingate. So soon after I upload my video this morning, Windows decides again, hey, we've got an update for you. Bastards. This time at least it wasn't hours long, like the one that I did this morning, and was able to go do my run and come back and have it finally finished. But yeah, the church is busted, guys. I caught them. I filed a complaint in 2008. They conspired. It even says it in their counter complaint that they did to dismiss my complaint and rename it as a terrorist threat. They say we got together to discuss what to do with Travis. But yeah, they purposely had no intention of taking it to trial to find me guilty of any crime. They specifically said we're going to have him disappeared. And so, yep, it was ordered by my own defense counsel. Yay! What good are you if you're just going to comply with the state rather than take it to court to defend me, which is your job, to protect me against the abuses of the prosecution. Nonetheless, my medical records were altered, which, if you don't understand the seriousness of that crime, doctors who alter medical records lose their license, go to prison for 10 years at least, pay a fine, they're no longer allowed to ever practice. It's just something you don't do. But the person they got did it because the church is that threatening. And so I was disappeared for 6 years of my life, locked up and tortured, without ever going to trial to try to prove my innocence. Which, yes, Your Honor, my client filed a petition for a redress of grievances, and the plaintiffs are calling it a weapon of mass destruction. Literally. That's why they weren't taking it to court. And so then, as a reward for her loyalty in altering my medical records and getting me disappeared, locked up and tortured for human experimentations, the church paid her for her loyalty. But I got out. Oops. Wasn't supposed to happen. And so, yes, I get computer devices. This one right here was the first one I got. $40. It was a great deal. The person was desperate to get rid of it. Had to buy some new stuff for it, but worth it. It's now obsolete. It's an XP. And so, can only use it for games. I probably should now. Lawsuit's over. I get these things, 3 computers going on their projects, and I have nothing to do but organize. So might as well pull out the games again in between times. But yeah, I'm not likely to live, as Windows is making it very clear. Hey Travis, we understand you're about to lose your lawsuit. How about we take away your internet privileges, not just censor you? Yeah, thanks. And so yeah, I caught him paying the person to commit a crime. Which, yes, that in and of itself is a crime. You don't pay people to commit crime. That's why investigators always follow the money. You know? If your husband wants you murdered, you follow the money to find out who he paid, who benefits. That's why they investigate insurance claims. Who benefits if so-and-so dies? And so this was a walk-on. It was blatant, it was obvious, and I showed you the picture. I showed you way back when I first found it. Did the video of it. It's a game, set, match. As I saw a news article about McEnroy saying that Connors is a loser. Didn't use those words. The good old days of tennis. But yeah, so I put it in my complaint. Dropped a bombshell on the judge that was specifically assigned after she got fired for another case against the church. And so she said, you've got 30 days to file an amended complaint. Yeah, that's what I thought. But here we are. The new judge they brought in says, oh, crime is not a crime. Racism isn't racism. My defendant, my client, is innocent. She was going through changes in her life, and it took a toll on her. She's mentally ill. She's not criminal, frauding people out of millions of dollars in her real estate scam. Innocent. No. So yes, as Judge First, they had to create compromise to go back into her past and say, hey, oh, wait a minute, here's a case where you legally and lawfully took a non-violent drug offender, put him in the Utah State Drug Offense Program and court system. How dare you? Because that person decided not to go to the court and as a result became violent. Oh, yeah, that's her fault. Okay. But that was their justification for firing her. Because she let the church go through as a defendant in a case. And so with Oberg, oh, they learned their lesson. They get compromise on the person they hire. Oh, I see that you considered racism not a crime and you lost that case. Oh, I see you tried the mentally ill defense for your client when she scammed people out of millions of dollars. Yeah, they've got her good. So she had no choice. She wants to keep her job. She dismisses my case. She dismissed my case as her report and recommendation indicated. And so, after her report, I find out a week later, oh, look at that. They rewarded her. She now has softball cases now. She's been assigned other cases since filing her report and recommendation. That's quid pro quo. that's rewarding for loyalty in a criminal endeavor. This is what my case is about, is the crimes committed as a RICO conspiracy. And they just do it out in the open. They just don't care, because they know they've got the judges in their pocket. And so the main video, as we're now 10 minutes in, which that could have been a video in and of itself, the Mormons have chosen the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to be loyal to them, to be faithful, and to be Mormon. Even when the church has denounced Joseph Smith, they've thrown him under the bus. Are you not aware of it? They say that Joseph Smith is not a translator. They say he's just a revelator. Wait a minute. Joseph declared himself a prophet, seer, revelator, and translator. He separated them. Are you saying he's not a translator and that all he's... Yeah, no. He declared himself a translator. They say, oh, he never said he was a translator. Yes, he did. It's in our canon of Scripture. In 2 locations in the Doctrine and Covenants. So yeah, they've denounced Joseph for that. They've had now come out and said, oh yeah, Joseph Smith was a polygamist. Oh yeah, he raped that 14-year-old girl. Oh? See, this is the thing. Brigham Young, when he was implementing polygamy after Joseph's death to get loyalists to side with him, because, that's how you do it rather than follow section 107 verse 22, which was Joseph Smith's method for succession. Brigham Young was claiming, oh no, Joseph Smith was practicing polygamy in secret. We all have polygamous wives. Join us. We'll keep it a secret, but we'll, fill out the paperwork that you're sealed to us, or we'll seal you to Joseph Smith. Just stay with me. We'll take care of you. See, women were property back then. Women were not free and independent. They couldn't go out and get a job working at the local Trader Joe's. Women were pretty much allowed to work in a brothel. That was pretty much the extent of a woman's life. If they weren't married, their life was over. They had to go live with family as spinsters for the rest of their life, widows in some cases if they had family and they lost their husband. And so yes, Brigham Young extorted these women in the Mormon church with polygamy, human sex slave trading, and blamed it on Joseph Smith. Oh yeah, Joseph Smith was doing this in secret. We have to do it in secret because people are upset. Yeah. Considering Joseph Smith denounced it numerous times. More than 3 witness times. And other things that Brigham Young did. And so they knew about Joseph Smith and his translation ability, as they knew, because Martin Harris went with Brigham Young. Martin Harris was a flip-flopper. He was very superstitious. And so yes, Dallin H. Oaks comes from Martin Harris. But this was the trap that they were setting, is that they were blaming Joseph Smith, now that he's dead, for being the instigator of all the things that Brigham Young wanted to get away with. So that Mormons get confused Oh, Brigham or Joseph Smith was he? Okay, if he started it, then I'm okay with it. Okay, I'm with you. I'll go with you. That's how he did it. And so in the early church, yeah, they all knew, as they were told, that Joseph Smith had done all this. That's why they remained loyal to Brigham Young. But then the government of the United States came in. You will not practice polygamy anymore. Brothels shut down in Utah. Church goes into debt, trying to rent things back. And that's how Lorenzo Snow got revelation. Hey! Tithing protection money. Excellent idea. We can get out of debt. That's what Malachi was talking about. Getting out of debt rather than using it for storehouses to feed the poor. Yeah. That was the moment the church began to rewrite history, to erase their polygamous past. As they say, oh, that was what was done in the past. We don't do it anymore because we're compliant with the United States government. So I grow up in the church. My family says, oh yeah, your third great aunt, Desdemona Fulmer, was married to Joseph Smith. Oh, well, gee, okay. I guess Joseph was a polygamist. But the church says nothing. And so when Augustine and I talk to a person in the streets of Newburgh, New York, he says, oh, Joseph Smith was a polygamist. Augustine immediately rises up and, no, he was never a polygamist. That was something Brigham Young, and we don't do that anymore. We don't practice polygamy. Augustine Desdemona Fulmer kept quiet because I was taught in the MTC, don't contradict your companion. And we use the Russian term. Why are we using the Russian term? I mean, we could use partner. That's now an LGBT term. What term do we use for a union of... It's not safe anymore to call missionaries. You can't call them a couple even. But our missionary white Bible tells us, you sleep in the same room, not in the same bed. I guess that was a problem. But, yeah, you know, the underground movement had begun. And then September 6th. 6 BYU church historian professors who had to have their hands laid upon their heads to be set apart to be professors at BYU in the church history department by apostles are not just fired from BYU, they're excommunicated because they find out things. Oh, Joseph Smith had rocks in his hat to translate. Oh, Joseph Smith is said to have been a polygamist. We found Willard Richards' forged documents after he died that put the date during Joseph's lifetime, saying he's a polygamist. So yes, their attempt to cover up church history was immediately unraveled. September 6th. I believe it was 1993 was the year. So, yeah, just after my mission. And then they had to deal with the Tanners who were uncovering all these documents. Those Tanners! They tried reverse psychology and rewarding them for their collection efforts of church history documentation. After all those years of trashing them as antichrists and anti-Mormons and apostates. That's what you do when you're evil. You name call. But this was the trap. The church decided, okay, they're finding out about Joseph. Great. Why is that great? How many people blame Brigham Young now? Oh, isn't that interesting? Everybody doesn't blame Brigham Young at all for polygamy. He's the one who started it. And nobody is blaming him. The church wins. Not just in getting Mormons to be compliant with the fact that the founder of the church was a polygamist when he wasn't. He's the founder of our church. He's the man of God. He speaks for God. Oh, okay, I guess it's okay to rape 14-year-old girls because he's a man of God. I guess that's okay. And those who realize, hey, that's not okay, leave the church. But they leave the church blaming Joseph, not Brigham Young. They win. September 6th did more damage than they realize. Because they didn't keep going to find out, oh, wait a minute, these are forged documents. Oh, wait a minute, these are hearsay testimonies after the fact. That's the trap of evil. They get you distracted to focus your anger on the wrong target. So as those who leave the church blame Joseph, the church is able to say, hey, we're a religion. Don't persecute us for our religious freedom. We don't do that anymore. We acknowledge it was wrong, but we don't do it anymore. See the trap they set? And both sides of Mormonism, those who remain loyal, those who left in anger, both got played as the church continues to exist because it was Brigham Young who caused the lie in the first place so that he could commit it. So Joseph Smith was accused of polygamy, female sex trafficking, pedophiliac rapist. He was accused of being a witch, con man, mentally ill, seeing dead people, and a liar who told lots of stories and all sorts of stuff. And he was a criminal. He was constantly arrested. Plagiarized the Book of Mormon. See what the church has done. They say, oh, Joseph, but he's our founder. He's a man of God. We're a religion. You can't touch us. See the trap they set. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints defames the name of Joseph Smith to justify their existence. Remember Joseph Smith history? Your name will be had for good and evil. And the song, we thank, hail to the man, hail to the prophet. What is the title? Hail to the man who communed with Jehovah. Jesus anointed that prophet and seer, blessed to open this last dispensation. Millions shall know Brother Joseph again. Hail to the man. No. See, now my internet is very slow now. Slow, slow, slow. Very, very slow. LDS. Hymn. Whoops. Praise to the man. It's referring to Joseph Smith. Not Brigham Young. Not John Taylor. Not to the current president of the church. We thank thee, O God, for a prophet can apply to any. And so, yes, Mormons will sing, we thank thee, O God, for a prophet during a conference or during a visit by the prophet of the Lord. And so that was the hymn the BYU student sang when President Hunter was giving a BYU devotional, and the guy who eventually would take that opportunity to run for governor of Utah used a rubber grenade to threaten Hunter and try to get him to denounce his authority and give it to him as the leader of the church. As the guards eventually pounced on him and threw a few jabs, beating the hell out of him. Fortunately, it was just a rubber grenade, but nonetheless, he's gone on to run for government office. As the Deseret News reported one year that he had one vote. Yep. What a guy. But, yeah. And with racism, the church throws Brigham Young under the bus for racism because they can't get away from the fact that Joseph Smith gave blacks the priesthood. He ran as a presidential candidate on abolition, the first in American history. But they still say, oh yeah, the changes we made to the Book of Mormon show clearly that Joseph Smith was racist. But remember, it was translated. Well, it's not really translated, it's revelation. It's coded. But you don't know it if you just believe whatever anybody tells you and you agree with it. So that's the con job. John Oliver, by the way, his show from last night went over the Nazi prison camp in China, where they are re-educating Muslim Chinese. I can't remember the name of the specific group, but one of the songs they were using to re-educate them with, you'll never guess. If you're happy and you know it, say yes sir. Oh, that sounds very similar to a primary song for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Instead, they have kids clap their hands. Unless that's in a public performance where they don't want kids to clap their hands in the chapel. So yes sir is far better, isn't it? Yes, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints implements the same re-education program on our kids. And so, if by chance you meet a frown, do not let it stay. Quickly force them to comply and smile that frown away. Nobody likes a person who frowns. Exclude him from your group. Shame him and shun him. To let him know he's wrong. These are the kinds of things we're teaching our kids. And also doctrinally. Faith is knowing the sun will shine. See, right now, I know the sun is shining. I see the light. I've gone outside. I've seen the sun shining. I don't have faith that the sun is shining. My faith is dormant. I have faith no more. You know, those things that the Book of Mormon teaches me. And yet they're teaching false doctrine to our kids in those primary songs as well. And of course, as I've been going over lately, for the past month or so now, the Mormon Jesus is not a combo of Mormonism, 3 gods versus 3 gods in one of the Christians. The Trinity. That's the Mormon hybrid God. Because remember, Brigham Young accused Joseph Smith of saying, oh yeah, Joseph Smith taught me that Adam is Heavenly Father. And so Adam is now Heavenly Father, and Orson Hyde says, no it's not. Brigham Young says, yes it is. Orson Hyde says, no it's not. Brigham Young's about to die the next year. So Brigham Young says, wait a minute, Orson Hyde's going to become the president of the church after me, after I had changed the succession process from 107 verse 22. And so I can't have him replace me because he'll change it back to the way it was. So, oh yeah, 1838, when we caused this leadership crisis. There you go. Orson Hyde, you were a part of getting booted out and excommunicated that year. And then Joseph got out of jail again and put you back in. So you were technically after these other guys, and so we're adjusting the order according to when you came into the apostles, not according to age. And so you're demoted. John Taylor, my loyalist buddy who shot and murdered Hiram Smith in the Carthage jail, you now will become my successor. Rather than Willard Richards, who was the one who assassinated Joseph Smith. That's how it works in a criminal organization. That's how you set up and frame a good person, so that you can continue to get away with your crimes.